Good evening. We are going to continue our Call of Cthulhu campaign, The Shadows of Jericho. This is episode 3, What Doesn't Kill You. Before we begin, let's meet our victims. Sorry, investigators.
Hi, my name is Jay and I'm playing Kore.
Hi, I'm Audrey and I play Wonvu.
And I'm Philip, and I'm playing Norman the librarian.
The new librarian because of certain circumstances.
Can we
Now-
never mention
Gee,
that
I
about
wonder
you?
why.
What
Wonder why.
happened?
Hmm.
We will
Wonder why.
take
I wonder that.
We will start tonight's episode in the Spades Diner the morning after the events of the last episode. In the diner, it is Kore who is there first, eating and drinking her usual breakfast order, followed by Norman, who is, I believe, still a part of this investigation despite the odd occurrences from the last time. Curiosity might be the death of you one day, but not today. And Wonvu, you will follow with a slightly distraught look on your face as to what you have experienced the other night. You all gather around and you may discuss how you feel about everything.
I just want to ask something. Did you guys try to look into the investigators a little more? Did you happen to find something?
No, unfortunately. You're talking about the paranormal investigators, right?
Yeah.
I never really got to find them. No one texted me either. I'm checking my phone.
No messages.
I'm gonna check mine.
None of
Any
you.
news feeds?
News feeds not at the moment. However, speaking of news, if you all recall, the Spades Diner has television sets in almost every area that in such a way that all of the customers are able to watch the TV. Normally they're all on the same channel and follow one speakers, but now the channel's interrupted by the local news network. You can see as the tune plays and the news anchor with his bad haircut that he thinks is a little better than it actually is, his cheap looking tie, he's new to this. He just reads his report on the paper. In breaking news today, the body of one Miss Ellen Harper has been found in her apartment, an apartment she shares with her brother. It would appear that Ellen had hung herself in her apartment earlier today. Now, the twins, Luke and Ellen Harper, are known to be paranormal investigators in Jericho City, although nobody really took them seriously. It is anyone's guess as to why Miss Ellen Harper had taken her life. However, the police have officially deemed it a suicide. Her brother Luke had this to say, and then the camera pans out to Luke in their apartment, and it is the Luke that you all know. It is the man you met. He had given you a fake last name, apparently. Luke is being interviewed, but he's also being restrained as the interview goes a little problematic. Luke starts complaining. It was Aaron Stone! Aaron Stone did this to my sister! I'm going to kill the fuck! Cut. And the news just ends on that note, with Luke being restrained.
Well, we found them.
It's gonna slump on the chair that I'm sitting on. I'm gonna say, God fucking damn it.
What exactly happened? First they vanish and then suddenly the other girl commits suicide and this...
take a very deep breath and one heavy sigh. Well, first day or first night rather on the job, and this is what happens.
Not an ordinary first night, is it?
I just
Not
hope
what I
none of you are
expected.
feeling particularly suicidal. Just tell us first before you actually do it. Ugh, God damn it.
I don't feel that yet, but sure. Just gonna shrug.
You are all still at the diner having your usual meals. Norman's job at the library does not start yet for another 13 days. Now, how would you like to proceed? You do recognize the street in which this news scene was filmed, and you recognize the building as being part of the old district, the area of
Sit
Jericho City that is more conservative, more old, comparable to Kyoto, Japan. It has the elder aesthetic, resembles the Wild West in a little bit. They kept some of the architecture as a tourist attraction. And Wonvu will recognize that street and that apartment complex because it is only a few blocks away from your own house.
Yeah. God fucking damn it. Just furrow my eyebrows like I'm thinking about something really, really hard. Okay.
Do I have contacts in the police?
have a
Illegal policemen, basically those who are
You have a
very
few
materialistic.
questionably amoral police officers. Most of them beat cops, but not in the detective ranks.
I would like to ask, in the local holding facilities, those that I know of, I'm gonna ask them if they have, this Luke, within their,
Rank.
Custody.
Like
facilities. Custody, yes.
You will text whatever contact you know, and these are contacts on the payroll, so to speak.
Yep.
You will receive a reply within 5 minutes that just reads on your phone, "We were gonna arrest him, but he was just irate, and he didn't really do anything. We can't really charge him with anything, so we just let him go. We're not sure where he is. Although we are looking into investigating this Aaron Stone guy. It was a bit of an accusation. That's about it. The detectives are taking care of that."
I'm going to reply, mind sending me updates if in case you find something.
You got it?
Thanks. Well, fortunately, Luke doesn't seem to be, in
Arrested.
jail. So we can try looking for him, or we can try checking the place out.
I'm going to be a little based for a moment, but then I'm going to say, well, it's either we look for them or we could, report to the boss because we did find something.
Yeah, we should probably report first.
Yeah.
Report
But
to...
then again, if you want to go there quite rather, quickly, I could just text him what we found or something. But I think it's best if we tell him personally.
Yeah, that's fine. We can call him.
You will give a call to your employer, Mr. Westway. Can I assume this is on speakerphone? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Just as long as there's not a lot of people hearing
You
us.
are in the corner booth. This is the furthest booth from the area, and there are people in the restaurant, just not near you.
Got it.
Yeah. People aren't gonna pay attention to us if we do it here, right?
Not really. Everyone's got their own business, and people are just complaining in the side about the news. People just randomly screaming, "Put the game back on!"
Put the game back on.
You've got the number, and when you dial, it takes a bit, and then he answers. "Yes. Do you have any updates?"
Hello. Yeah, we do. We were going to look into old friends. Gonna look at them confusingly. Uh, but we did find something that you might interest you, and it really does have to do with the person you asked us to look into.
Is there... I'm afraid I don't follow. What updates do you have? What person are you speaking
Uh,
of?
Aaron Stone. I'm gonna ask.
Ah, yes. You have something on him. I thought you were speaking of that
Yeah.
paranormal investigator. I heard he was around that party. Uh,
I
what do you have for me?
well, we did find. I'm gonna look at Kore and Norman confusingly, saying, "Should I tell him we don't really have evidence, but we do know what happened?" That kind of look.
I'm gonna shrug and just say, well, that's what we saw.
Yeah. All right. Well, we didn't really find any proof that it happened. Not concrete evidence, but we do know that Aaron does have a direct connection to the suicide of your daughter.
He pauses for a bit, and just for a second, you don't hear anything on the other end. I see.
Uh,
You can
Yeah.
at least verify this, if not with hard evidence, with your own eyes. Can you verify this with certainty from your end, without any evidence? I just need to know
Gonna
that that you believe it.
gonna look at Corey Norman again. I'm just gonna say, well, we found out that your daughter has went to Aaron's basement before, just shortly before her death, and we did go into the basement ourselves, and we can say that it has some level of connection. So yes, I say it's particularly true. If you want us to look for more concrete evidence, then we'll try our best. But that's what we've got so far.
Unfortunately, if evidence was enough, then I would have gone to the police. You have done quite well. I don't need you to find evidence that the police would accept. I want you to be able to call me again with absolute certainty that he had something to do with it. Regardless of evidence, I just need to know that the three of you are in agreement, that you agree that he had something to do with this. And then I will call your contract over, and you will be paid what you are owed.
Okay.
Remove
I'm
any
gonna
doubt
look at Corey and
from
Norman.
remove any doubt from the three of you, from your minds, if you can. Or the opposite, if you suddenly believe he has nothing to do with it, I will accept that as well, but I need the three of you to agree to it all together. Thank you for the update. I must attend to something
Okay.
now.
Alright.
He closes the line.
I'm just gonna look at Corey and Norman and I'm gonna ask, do you guys think, so far, do you guys absolutely believe that it's him? Because I do. Just don't know about you guys, so I can't really say.
Yeah, I believe it is so, because given the accuracy of what we have read last night, and he is the person that is very much responsible for Alicia's death.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in my case, I still believe that there's a lot, let's say something bigger than what we see, seeing that we actually saw a zombie. For fuck's sakes, it's a fucking zombie. But honestly, the guy that hiring us sounds weird. Like, I mean, I know that she wants to find out. He wants to find out why his daughter committed suicide, but I mean, it's just odd. He sounded odd. Not really sure. Can I roll something to perceive or insight
Psychology.
about how he's got it?
Oh, I can roll psychology as well. Can I try to do that?
If you have any doubts about your employer as a character, then
Yeah, I
yes.
have some level of doubt. Like, no, it's not like completely like I really don't trust the guy, but like, it's more of a like I have a feeling, but I can't really prove it, so I'll just follow what he says.
Can I push my roll, please?
You may.
I got
I got a
I'm
9.
gonna push my roll.
9. If only that was enough. If only you did that the first time. You think about it as hard as you can in your head, just something off about him. But you can't put your mind to it. It's at the tip of your tongue and you just force yourself. It almost gives you a headache to just think about this so hard. You can barely enjoy your food anymore, but it occurs to you now. You are no strangers to underworld criminals and people of questionable decision makings. He sounds like a man on a warpath, and given he is one of the richest and most powerful men in Jericho City, it's not unbelievable to assume that he might have the means to handle this outside of the law. And a part of you thinks that maybe he's just trying to, I don't know, make his own conscience feel better by getting the approval of free independent parties.
Well, I guess if a rich man needs to clear his conscience, then he will find a way to do so. I don't know how rich people think. It's just, that's just how it is, I guess.
Well, if that's the case, then I guess we can't really do much about that.
Yeah.
I guess it is a little suspicious, but it's not like we can do something about it.
As long as we're
So-
getting paid, then I have no problems with it.
You're all actually
I'd say
receiving a weekly stream of cash. And you are promised a lump sum when you've completed this by his standards. In this case, he has officially now declared when this will be complete. It is when you have managed to remove doubt in yourself, however you see fit. While you guys are discussing this in the diner, you actually see Luke. He looks a little worse for wear, and he's still wearing the same clothes he wore when you saw him yesterday. He's just shambling his way to the counter, and he just goes up, talks to the counter lady. Just give me coffee, black, please, as bitter as you can get, as bitter as you can make it, and I guess some bread. Right away, sir. Counter lady leaves, and he is there. He does not see you because of the booth that you are in is in the further corner, and he's just up at the counter. But it is him.
Well, in
No,
his
it's like-
defense, it is a little early to go drinking, so I don't mind coffee. Should we approach him?
Yeah, might as well ask. What the
Hmm.
hell happened in that house?
So you approach Luke. Clearly his last name is Harper. Not Collins. That is the name of another individual that you have nothing to do with.
Shut up. Oh my god.
You approach who is going up to talk to him.
I can, I guess.
Okay. He is just there. He has been served his black coffee, and he has a flask that he's just pouring down there. And they just...
Is it just me that's approaching him, or is Kore with
Yeah.
me? I thought you wanted to.
I'm following.
Okay.
Norman, you'll stay in the booth. See
I'll stay in the
what
booth.
transpires. Okay. When you approach, he doesn't really notice you, and he reeks of alcohol. It's 8 a.m. by the way.
Yeah. I guess he
Sorry to
is
hear about
drinking.
your sister.
It's you guys. Yeah. Thanks.
So I thought you did give us fake surnames.
Look, it's nothing personal, right? We don't normally give our names to strangers, alright? We don't like being found. But
I understand that.
It's fine, but looks like something else found you. So it didn't work out that well this time.
fucking Aaron Stone found us is what? Fucker's gonna die.
What
for
happened?
This.
What happened when we were done?
Right. We left. When you guys went into that, whatever the fuck that is you went into, Aaron showed us this, that fucking pedestal in his room with the pool of blood and everything. He showed us, well, specifically he showed Ellen and the others restrained me from doing anything. Ellen was looking into it for a good 10 minutes. After that, she just ran screaming for the hills. I ran after her. She went back to the apartment. She said she just needed to sleep. I heard some screaming in her bedroom. I thought, I looked in with a drone from the window. There was no one there. She was just screaming, having a nightmare. So I tried to get in, but she barricaded the door. I tried to break through it, blew my shoulder out in the process. Fuck, it still hurts. By the time I got in, she had already hung herself from the roof. I can't fucking prove shit, but I know it was fucking Aaron Stone that did this.
Do you think it's the same thing that happened to Alicia?
Maybe. But last I heard, the Westway daughter took months before she went off the deep end. My sister took one fucking day.
This is odd. It's...
Look, my
You
sister's
said there was
gone.
something on the TikTok.
My sister's
that?
gone, and I don't know who the fuck else I can turn to. No one is going to believe me about that place and whatever the fuck is happening there. He looks around and realizes people are looking at him. No one else is gonna believe me, so I might as well give all of you this. He tosses you a notebook, a little black notebook. It's notes. Ellen's notes and mine combined. It's everything we have on Aaron Stone. There's been a lot of weird shit happening in his house, alright? The police will never listen to us, but the number of suicides that have happened over the last few days, last few months, that's fucking weird, even for this town. We were looking into him. He was always the common link, but he always had so many fucking lawyers that the police can never get anything on him. But we did. It's all circumstantial. Fucking pigs. Look, just take it. It's everything we were working with. I can give you a summary. You can just read through it for more details, but it started right around the time Stone's grades started failing. When he started letting school slip, when he started not giving a fuck, I guess. He's been doing some weird shit. He's been going to antique stores. He's been buying these weird books and shit, and I don't know. He dropped out of college. He started doing these parties. Kids go to these parties. Some of them end up leaving like they were depressed or whatever the fuck is happening to them. And then they start hanging themselves. We figured some weird shit was going on there. That's pretty much the most of it. Fuck the coffee. He just starts drinking from his flask.
I'm just going to flip through the notes casually.
Yeah, the notes are incredibly detailed. It does account everything that he said, but a lot more. It accounts for days and times and associates of Ironstone, the weird people that go into his house, the weird coincidences that keep happening, the parties. It seems like most of these people on the list of the notebook are people who have killed themselves in the last 2 or 3 months. And he has crossed out people who have nothing to do with Ironstone, and he realizes that the suicides over the last 3 months, 85% of them roughly involve Ironstone and his wild, outlandish parties in his house. There's a connection. Well, all these people are students. Some of them aren't actually. Some of them are hobos who just went in for a meal. Some of them are just people who want to go to a party. But the one common denominator among all of them is they all went to Ironstone's party. They all started acting weird, and then they all killed themselves in a variety of ways. Some of them with a gun to the head, some of them overdosing on their prescription medication, some of them hanging themselves. Whatever it is, they're all killing themselves. Those are most of his notes.
Let's see. It's okay if I keep hanging on to this, right?
It's fucking yours.
Alright. Just gonna squeeze it in there with the 3 books I already have.
Yep.
It's not like they're gonna have like some sort of arcane explosion, right?
Mm.
Can I ask him, what about those, spirit detectors of yours? Are you still interested? Or are they up for sale?
I'm keeping mine, but Ellen's got a few. You can have them. Thought you guys
Well,
didn't
if that's
believe in
okay.
that.
We've seen some weird shit.
Yeah. But if that's the case, then do you mind if we look around your apartment? Maybe we could find some clues that the police missed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright.
My car, yours.
Ours. I'll take care of it. You don't seem to be
Yeah.
in the right state to drive.
Right. Yeah. Did I drive here?
Oh,
No.
I think you just walked here. We didn't see your car. Maybe you were parked a few blocks away?
Fucking hell. Sorry. Alcohol makes me lose some of my memory.
Understandable. I know that feeling. I'm gonna smirk.
It's along Main Street and Fifth Avenue in the old district. You know, that old apartment
Nice.
place made of like this cemented brick style.
keys? Or are you coming with?
He just I'll come with, but he hands you keys. Here. I'm not even sure if I can open it.
And when I have your cell phone number, Try not to lose your
This one's the real phone. Could you just find it
There
there?
you go.
It's just called my number in the contacts. Yeah, whatever.
I'll take care of it. I'll just wave at Norman and just peck on him.
Norman?
Right. I raise my hand and I'm gonna
Okay.
check if there's any stuff in the booth. I'm gonna get them and I'm gonna go over to
Funny you should
Kore and
mention
Wonvu.
that. Where Wonvu was eating, and you are certain this wasn't here before, and your peripheral vision kind of tells you that there was nothing here, but when you take a look, there is a small little piece of paper, a note, where Wonvu was kind of eating. Do you want to take it? Or
Sure.
read it?
No, I'll take it and
Okay.
I'll bring it with the other things, and then I'm gonna go over to Wonvu and hand her the note, and I'll say, Wonvu, I think this is yours. Might have dropped before you when you were about to go to Luke.
Never seen it before in your life, Wonvu.
I don't have any loose paper on me right now. I don't think. What kind of paper is it?
It resembles the paper on the books. The same kind of old parchment paper style. Definitely
I'm just gonna
old.
look at it.
Okay, that's
Does
strange.
it say anything?
It's still folded. Are you opening it?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm gonna.
Is anyone gonna open it?
Yeah, I'm
I'll-
gonna unfold it.
Okay, so Wonvu, you open the note and it just says Luke. It has Luke's name on it. The ink is wet.
What does it say?
I'm just gonna. I'm gonna say, give me a moment. I'm gonna sit back in the booth. I think, I think I'm gonna sit back in the booth for a little. Then I'm gonna use the first book, and then I'm gonna look through it for Luke.
Hmm. The first book, of course, is the Book of Vey, the book that is
Yeah.
about other people. You open it, and you give Luke's real name in it. Now that you've kind of had a feel of how to use this book, it is accounting his life. It also accounts how Luke found his sister hanging. The day today is January 30. There is an entry all the way to February 14. Luke, on this day, according to this book, takes his own life by jumping off of the top of his apartment building.
I'm just gonna slump back on my chair. Like I look a little defeated, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Wonvu? Move this way.
Yeah. Sorry, what's happening?
You alright? You started acting weird when you saw that paper.
It's hard to explain. I think I'll try to explain it on the way there. And then I'm just gonna stuff the book back into my bag.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'll drive. Just follow me to my car.
Right.
Uh,
Sure. Whatever. He just has his flask. You wouldn't happen to have any vodka, would you?
No, I don't drink and drive.
I'm gonna set down a bottle of vodka next to it. I have one in my bag. It's still like 3/4 full.
Yep. When he's told you don't drink and drive, he just says, "Sorry, Mother Teresa." He just takes the bottle
Yeah.
from Wonvu. And he looks at his flask in the bottle. He just puts the flask down and just Go ahead.
There goes your supply, Wonvu.
It's fine, I still have more. That's not the only one I have. Don't assume that's the only one I have. So let's go.
I think
Yeah.
I like you. You drive over to Main and Fifth, over at the old district. The apartment that you're looking at is very old stone, and the architecture resembles a more Victorian-like era. The windows, the architectures, the general design of it is very aesthetic. It's very old, and it's not hard to imagine why this place is a tourist attraction. This general district is a tourist attraction. He leads you up his apartment. He stumbles onto the staircase, almost trips himself multiple times, and he just points you to the apartment room. There it is. 515.
Alright,
You can...
alright. Thank you.
I believe Kore has the keys, so you can open the door, and when you open it, the room is a mess. Everything is untidy, left alone. But what are you looking for exactly? What are you all here for?
I'm
I
gonna
guess-
look into the room itself, like her room, like Ellen's room. Gonna look for more. Seem like they could have been missed or something.
Make
I'll-
yes.
I'm gonna ask either Corey or Wanby if, since I was in the other part of the diner, I'm gonna ask, Luke handed you a notebook. Would it be okay if I have a look at that notebook?
It's with Wonvu.
Wonvu.
Sure. I'm gonna hand him the notebook.
Okay, so
Okay.
It's with me. If you
let's-
have it, I'm gonna hand it to him.
are you going?
Yeah, I'm handing.
Are you going to read this notebook intently, Norm? Like you're looking for something specific, or just trying to find what's in it?
Yep. I'm gonna look for any items, or if Ellen has seen, since it's, I'm looking at it, and I did notice that it's very detailed, and I wanted to check if Ellen, I don't know if Ellen is stalking Aaron, so I want to see if there's, she was able to see the places where Aaron was,
Goes.
and if there are clothes or any artifacts or objects that it's gonna be of interest.
Make me an education roll to go through the notebook, and Wonvu, you can make a spot hidden roll.
Okay.
Can I check for any diaries or journals left behind by her?
Spot hidden as well.
Got it.
57.
That is
55.
that is well below what you guys need to roll. Let's start
Fail.
with. Okay. Let's start with Norman. You read through the notebook more intently. One who just kind of skimmed the cliff notes. As you kind of read through it, you see that Aaron often visits a strange antiquities shop. Relics and rarities. And it is here where he kind of goes in, buys a lot of things, and then goes out. It's he goes here a lot for some reason, and this is a place that he frequents very often. Ellen has kept a very detailed account of every time he's visited here over the last 3 months. He must have visited here at least maybe 6-7 times a month, spending quite a lot of money there as well. Now, Wonvu, you go through the room. The police have done an excellent job sweeping this place. They found most of everything, but something is odd about this room. It has another piece of parchment paper right on the bedstand where the lamps normally are, and it's odd to you because even the most green of police officers would not miss that, and yet it's just there, despite all of our other things being taken into evidence to look through by the police. There's this one glaringly obvious piece of parchment paper that is just sitting there that no one has touched.
Just gonna pick it up and I'm gonna read through it.
You take the parchment paper, you read through what is there. It just has a name, Ellen Harper, and it also has a date. The date is today, and the time is 4 a.m. 4 a.m. was within the rough estimated time of death. The police kind of narrowed it down to within 2 hours, and 4 a.m. is within that time frame. Again, the ink is actually dry now. The parchment paper matches your book, but the ink is rather dry. Anyone else want to try something?
Huh.
Try to do the same thing I did earlier. But I'll look at that specific.
Hold on.
Since I failed looking for journals, can I just investigate the room passively? See if I find anything on.
The Ellen's room specifically.
Yeah, Ellen.
Okay. You can make a spot hidden roll.
Got it. I still failed, so no.
There's nothing amiss here.
Yeah, I'm probably distracted
Everything's-
by my phone. I'm looking at my phone while looking around, so.
Everything's perfectly normal. What are you talking about?
Yep, just checking my phone while looking around, so I don't see anything.
Nothing to find here, to be honest. You will all just look around as much as you can and just get a general sense of what's around here, what you can find. There's not much left. It's just that one parchment paper that Wonvu has managed to pick up that just says Ellen's name along with what is the time of death, the estimated time of death, surprisingly, and just a general, just a general strange feeling, because unlike most of the parchment papers that you've found, Wonvu, you will notice that the paper ink is actually dry, unlike the others that you've found that are actually still wet, so to speak.
I'm gonna go over
Can
to
I-
Wonvu and gonna ask.
Hello,
Yes.
I'm back.
Norman?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Wonvu and look at
Oh.
what she's holding, and I'm gonna ask, is that the same paper you had a while ago, or is it the new one?
It's different, but it's the same. Here. And I'm what I wanted to do earlier. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do earlier was just, I'm gonna do the same thing as I did with Luke, but I'm just gonna look at that specific date and time.
You're going to look at Ellen? For the book?
Yeah, through the book, yeah. Just at that time, just in
Um,
case anything changed.
When you say Ellen's name in the book, as it writes itself, the odd thing is that it's already done. It ends, and it is the same as you've seen before.
Yes.
Nothing has changed since you've last looked.
Okay. Good, good. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna look at Norman. I'm gonna say it's strange. It's like it feels like this paper. It's meant to document that she died here. Her time of death, her date of death. Not how she died, but when she died.
When? Okay.
When you look at the paper, it has the same note. But unlike the paper in the diner, the ink here is dry.
Strange. It's like I'm telling Wonvu that yeah, when I got this note, yeah, the ink was fresh compared to this one, so I'm not sure how to make of this. It's very intriguing.
It's like it was meant to be shown to me or something. I don't know.
Is there anything else in the book that says what Ellen was doing, or what happened before she took her life?
Before she took her life, according to the book, it just reads there that Ellen is screaming through the night of horrors seen and beheld. You can move the pages back to see what happened, all the way back to when she saw the blood pool. However, this is the only part of the book that is not specific. It just says, Ellen beheld horrors beyond all natural belief. She is terrified. She has lost her mind. And then it proceeds to become more specific again as to how she ran, how long it took her to get home, what she did when she got home. But it is that portion of the book that is very vague and doesn't explain anything. Guys?
I'm afraid to ask the book of what she really saw. I feel like it's as if it might bite me or something.
Yeah. I don't think I want to go insane right now either. I think it's best we leave it for now. But
Yeah.
the information's useful.
Luke Harbor has passed out on his couch, pissed drunk. And it's only 10 a.m.
Did you two of you mention about Luke's imminent demise?
Did you mention what was in the note in the diner? What about Luke's
Yeah,
death?
I'm going to usher everyone into the room, so like even though he's passed out, just making sure he doesn't hear it. And then I'm gonna tell him what I saw in the book earlier at the diner.
When was this going to happen?
It's a few weeks from now. February something.
February
14, according to the note.
Valentine's Day.
If you guys actually look at the note, the ink is still wet. Despite being 2 hours since you found it, the ink has not dried. However, you also find, no matter how much the ink smudges on your fingers, it never really erases from the note.
Can I see that note again? The one that you saw in Ellen's room?
Wonvu?
I'm gonna nod and I'm gonna give it to her.
I'm gonna give it. It's dry, and yet this one is wet. Do you think the ink symbolizes when a person dies? I mean, I know it sounds stupid and sounds, supernatural or whatnot, but the shit that we're dealing with, I mean, Her note is dry, but Luke's is still wet. The only difference
Actually,
between the
had
two
the
of them is
same
one is
theory.
alive.
Yeah, I actually had the same theory.
Interesting. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I
Wonvu,
don't think we can get anything from this, though.
Wonvu, will you tell them about last night and the book?
Ah, yeah, I will. I would.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell them. I actually tried looking for Ellen and through the book, and actually saw that she took her own life through the book last night. Was that before it happened when I saw it?
Yes, it was actually a
Yeah.
premonition.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them. I actually saw that it happened before it happened. I was looking through the book a few hours before she died, but it told me that she would die. It's odd.
Huh. So what are we gonna do about him? I'm gonna point at Luke.
I don't know. So I don't know. What do you think? I feel like even if we try to prevent it, he's gonna find a way to do it on that day. It's like fate, you know. It's like it's gonna happen either way. I don't think we can prevent it even if we tried.
Well, not if we lock him in a basement while he's chained up and someone's watching over him, but...
That's a human rights violation.
Yes, it's a human... Not that I care about that, Biz, but... Yes,
He's alive.
whatever.
He is
Human
alive.
rights.
That's a
Ugh.
good point. He's alive.
Well, it does keep him from killing himself, so I don't really know. Desperate times call for desperate measures?
But as long as it's not my basement.
He's just passed out there.
Well, it's a long day until February 14th. The least we can do is watch over him on that day. I mean, it doesn't really say what's going to happen to him before that?
Yes. Before that, it
Mhm,
just
before 14.
details his spiral into depression until about a week before the event. It outlines how he starts to see things in his dreams, nightmares, and he starts to gain random scars on his bodies as he wakes up, scars he never had before. Almost as if something was clawing at him, like a wild animal.
Well, I do know a psychiatrist. Maybe she can help him.
It's worth a shot, but still not to say that he might choose not to go there, and your psychiatrist might not, force him to go.
True. Well, we still have a few days. I'm not entirely sure how to deal with this one. In any case, so are we all sure that Aaron Stone is the one to blame for Alicia's suicide?
I would definitely believe so, given the accounts and the numbers being shown.
Was thinking of searching up Aaron's name again through the book just to see if he's doing something that we should be aware of or concerned of. Oh, hello?
Yep, go on.
Yeah, I just said that while they're chatting, I was gonna look through for Aaron's name's first book again, just in case he's doing something we should be concerned of or alerted of.
Now that you look through Aaron's name in the book, it dawns on you a realization. When you looked at Ellen's name, it was at the last page of the book. When you looked through Luke's name, the last page of the book outlines the day he dies. When you look at Aaron's name on the book, he's only halfway down. And it does have a few days of his accounts, but the difference between everyone else's account versus Aaron's account is there is nothing on Aaron Stone's future here. There is only the present, at which case he is throwing a party and he is still in his basement, still getting people in there.
Because he's in his basement, I shouldn't be concerned. Anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna point that out to them.
Out of curiosity, since Kore used the toilet, can I check if I find anything weird on the way there?
The toilet.
On the way to the toilet. And inside the bathroom, if there's anything odd in there.
Spot hidden if you're going to actively try to look for something.
Yeah. God damn it, Kore. It still failed. So, yeah, Kore's using her phone.
Yep. You don't find nothing.
Yeah.
Everyone else?
Yeah, I'm just gonna point that out to Norman, yung weird ash shit that's going on with the book. I don't know what to describe it.
I'm gonna try and look at the book and see if there is an indication of why Aaron is doing this. Why is he doing these parties, and why suicide?
You are looking for a motive in the book.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
You might.
Motive.
That means you're going to look through the past because there's nothing else to look at. You will find Aaron's entire history there, but at some point down the pages, you do find the exact day that Aaron started slipping. You find an account of him just going about his day until one day he went to the library trying to catch up on some after-school credit because he was failing. He was still relatively normal until he ended up in the library. He found a section that doesn't exist and took a book that doesn't exist in the library's records, and he just went on to find two other books. And when he studied the books, he went through the books and he realized the books are predictive. They see what might happen, and he decided to use this for his own benefit. And then this is the part where the account becomes vague. Aaron has been chosen for a higher purpose, and he is fulfilling his missions. And then the rest of the book goes as everyone knows history.
Is this library the same library I'm gonna be working on?
It is. It's the same library the old librarian was pointed a gun at.
Interesting library.
Oh my god.
So many things that can happen there, and things that it's not
Lots
there.
of things.
It's not. Aaron is meant for a higher purpose.
Chosen for a higher
Is
purpose.
chosen for.
What that is has gone suspiciously vague.
Can I ask the book?
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, on second thought, I don't think I want to ask the book on the specifics of that higher purpose or whatever. I might go insane as well. Not going insane this early.
I'm wounded.
I'm wounded.
Can I ask the book as well?
Mm-hmm. What do you
What
want to ask?
what those books specifically are? 2 books, right?
You have free
He saw
books.
2 books.
Free.
No, I mean the one that Aaron found.
Aaron found one, and then he found 2
One.
more
2
after
more.
that.
Okay. Same. I think it's the same as the one we have right now.
You might.
Oh, Wonvu, don't start using
Okay, can
throwing
I ask
parties
the
on me.
book which will he find first?
What the book
I
has.
don't. I'm
What-
not the party, so be
The book
concerned. if I
doesn't
do.
necessarily seem to respond to questions. However, if you reread the account, it does tell him that he found an odd book that details an incorrect timeline of history. He found 2 more that do the same thing. And then suddenly the book can predict a person's future, the world's future, and his own future. And that very evidently patterns the books that you have found and the conditions in which you have found them.
Alright. So, now that we're done here, do you think we should visit that he went to? Or keeps going to?
The antiquity store.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it
I was about to
okay?
suggest that.
You can. It is
Where's-
still in the old district, a little further away from here, but maybe given traffic about an hour driving.
It's okay.
Well,
Let's
take care
go
of the driver.
there. What if we walked it, the joke?
You can walk it. It's a little further away than
What
that.
if we just walked it, to save the trees or some shit?
You want to go there?
Should we walk it, the joke?
Yes, Kore.
Let's just take the car.
Hold on,
or
Kore.
something.
Before we leave, I would like to check the room for the supernatural detector stuff. I mean, I was given the go signal to take it, so
Yeah, it's in a box that you can take.
I'll just take it and leave a note and
But
say, take care of it.
Is it out of
Audrey, you're
our
really
room?
choppy. Kore, you take the weird supernatural crap, correct?
Yep, I'll take the box. I'll just leave a note that says, I already took it. I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna leave my signature at the bottom and my cell phone number.
Yep. Okay. You will take the box, and
Mhm.
does this mean you're all heading over to the antiquity store?
I'm gonna do a one last sweep of the room, just to see if there's anything odd or out of place, similar to.
Then it is your spot hidden roll.
Okay. Spot hidden.
Sorry guys, you just switched to Wi-Fi. Should be fine now.
I'll wake up Luke.
Oh my gosh.
Luke is passed out drunk in the middle of the morning, so.
Failed.
Okay, so
Got a 99.
Oh my god!
That
that's
is
so
not-
good.
that is not just a failure. That is a fumble.
Oh my god.
It's a critical failure. Yeah, you're looking through the room. You're searching for what you can find, and you end up breaking a few things and stumbling over
Oh,
some stuff. And you guys can just
sorry.
hear in Ellen's room.
Ellen, what the hell are you doing there?
I think that's kind of
Looking
evidence,
for
you know.
something?
That's not looking, that's breaking.
I think that's tampering of evidence.
Let's just go.
I believe
Sorry.
that's why they call it breaking and entering.
What? I have to break and enter first, not break and leave. So let's go.
It's so organized, please.
Okay,
God damn it.
Kore, you can leave Luke and his passed out self on his couch in a pool of his own vomit as you take
I'll
a
just
drive.
tilt him so he won't drown in his own vomit.
Yes,
'Cause, yeah,
go ahead.
that's it. Disgusting way to die.
Oh, and I'm gonna try and wake him up. Just do a little slap on the face. Hey, hey!
He is
Try not to
way
choke on your own face.
he is way too passed out for this. Way too passed out for this.
Yeah.
So you can leave, head over to the antiquity store. It is about an
Mhm.
hour's drive, maybe 45 on a good day. And you do arrive there. It is a beautifully made shop of wood and bricks. It has these old style windows that are kind of a hexagon that just shows what's inside. It's got lots of strange things on the front display of the door. There are crystal balls that seem to be a little bit foggy on the inside of the ball. There are voodoo dolls, just general things you would normally dismiss as child's play. You go in and the bell ding ding as you enter, and there is an old man who approaches. Oh yes, customers, can I help you with anything?
Good
We're
day,
just
sir.
looking around.
Yes, please feel free to look around. Everything should have a price tag on it.
Oh, look
Okay,
around,
could
please.
you- Before that, I have something first. Do you know anything about Ironstone?
The young man who keeps coming here, he keeps purchasing these, what are they? Here, he goes up to a shelf, takes a jar, and then presents it to you. The jar is labeled, the jar is just labeled sea water, except it's very murky, kind of black. It's a jar of seawater that is mixed in with the swamp just on the edge of town. I'm not entirely sure why he always comes here to buy it, but he has paid me quite a lot of money to ask my suppliers to keep collecting it for him.
Just gonna look at it weirdly, like I have this weird look on my face. Like, why would he buy that? And then I would be like, I'll ask, do you have any idea why he buys that? Does this thing have any, like, medicinal properties, maybe, or stuff around it?
It's an old urban legend that the swamp outside of Jericho City, just on the border, is haunted or something. There is a story about people who have committed suicide in that swamp, drowning themselves, hanging themselves from the trees, or just generally shooting themselves there. It is only a rumor, but there are a number of people throughout the history of the city who go there and are supposedly committing suicide, but their bodies have never been found. It's always been a cold case. So I don't know, but that is the rumors that go around most of the time.
How much is it?
Unfortunately, this particular item is not for sale. I was contracted specifically and paid a rather large sum to collect it for Mr. Stone and to give him a supply of it every, every month.
Oh. It's
If-
us that we're
yeah.
looking for. Can I roll?
How
No.
how many is he, or how many has he ordered?
He has requested for a minimum of 7 each month, or was it 8? About 7 or 8 each month. However, he
Can I
always
roll?
comes by the store to collect per bottle.
Can I roll some level of? Is there insight? There's insight, right?
Psychology, but it
Can
really
I?
depends.
Okay, I just want to roll to see if I could like figure out the possible use of it based on how much he's buying.
That is something you probably won't be able to determine because, as far as you are aware right now, this is swamp water. It is
Um,
disgusting. Corey.
Can I roll to see if I can remember a substance like this when we visit his basement or the jars?
Make me. I suppose that can be counted as intelligence.
Intelligence, got it.
I'll say intelligence.
I got a 78, so I passed.
Passed. You recall. No jars. No murky water. The best you can recall is that water in that room. But that was crystal clear and blue. However, 7 to 8 jars of this a month, fairly large mason jars, could conceivably fill up that pool. But the water there was crystal blue and clear. This is black and murky swamp water.
The well water, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna look at Wonvu Norman and say, well, I haven't seen anything that resembles this kind of water inside his place, but there's that well water. I don't know, maybe he purifies it?
I'll go
Could be.
look at the
weird.
mason jar.
Mhm.
Shake it, see what happens.
Yeah, you shake it, and the water just kind of circles around all the dirt, just moves, but it's behaving like water should. Water in a jar.
I'm gonna ask the shopkeeper. Can I open this? Just want to check.
Please just do not spill any. It is actually rather difficult to collect that swamp water.
While they're
how-
doing that,
okay.
I'm just gonna walk
Gonna-
around to see if
Sure.
there's anything.
Norman, you open the jar. It is murky swamp water. It smells like the swamp. It smells like the bayou just outside of Jericho City. It is, disgusting. The aroma just fills the room with horrible water. But before you kind of slam the jar closed, you see an odd image on the water. It's black and shouldn't be able to reflect anything, but you can see very clearly your face in that water with a nice big Glasgow smile on it. I need you to make me a sanity roll.
Here we go!
Oh shit, here we go again.
Oh my gosh, what's my sanity?
60.
Fudge, 82.
That's a failure. I need you to make me a 1d8 roll.
1, 8.
Ah!
1d8. I got a 1.
Then you only lose your 1 point of sanity. You're more or
Okay.
less fine. Make me roll me 2 d10s, please.
10. Not the percentage. Just
No,
the
actual
just the
2d10s, please.
not two. That's okay.
What is the first number?
First number 1 and a 9.
1 is the first number. And a 9. So,
Yes, the second was a 9.
For about 1 hour, this will be fun. For about 1 hour, and for the rest of your game here, you look at the murky water, you look at the swamp water as it smiles back at you with a horrifying visage of your own face. It terrifies you to the core, and you know this comes from a river, this water, and you are stricken with a sudden burst of potamophobia. It is the fear of rivers.
Fear of rivers. Okay.
Now, knowing that this water actually comes from a river, a swampy river, but still a river, you just close it, put it back, and get the hell away from it. The rest of you just see Norman panicking a bit as he looks at the water, and he just, no.
I mean, I know it smells that bad, but are you alright?
It's a swamp water, but Nige, did I also got yung, I think it was Wonvu who had that same, who looked at the water in the basement.
It was Wonvu who looked at it.
Okay,
and you,
so,
I believe you also took a look at it.
Yeah, yeah, I did. Okay, so I'm gonna tell that it's the same thing that I saw in the well. It's my face smiling back at.
I think I know what you mean.
Needless to say, Norman is not going to be around rivers anytime soon. Kind of
And
a little bit of a problem because Jericho City is an island city.
I don't think you'll be able to leave town for a while, old friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually going to propose to visit this lake or this swamp, but that doesn't seem to be a good idea right now.
That's so bad.
At least you can
But
still
no,
go on
this
to
is-
do so.
Well, it's only gonna last for an hour, but so the insanity, the phobia will affect your judgment for an hour. After that, it just becomes a fear, like your heartbeat races, you feel it tingle down your spine, but it will not impair you. And it will take about possibly 2 hours of driving to get out of the city into the swampy area, to the bayou.
Okay.
Norman's probably just going to complain about it a lot, but it should not impair him too much. He'll get over it at some point.
We don't really have much of a lake, so how about a bit of a fishing trip?
Wonvu, you have circled this entire store. There are odd artifacts and strange items here that probably need an explanation at some point, but nothing that seems to relate to this current problem. So,
There's no artifact that gives me like weird vibes.
everything
Like
in the
you, the check or
store,
some shit.
everything in the store gives you a weird vibe. Everything in the store feels like it's some sort of prop from a horror movie, or alien, or possibly alive. There's even a jar There's even a jar labeled "Eye of Newts," and there's just a bunch of eyeballs in there.
I'm just gonna walk back to the front where the guys are, and I'm just gonna look at them with a blank face, and I'm gonna say, I don't think I passed the vibe check.
And since that I'm still in front of that swamp water, I'm gonna go to somewhere where there's something that's
No.
dry.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to that crystal ball and I'm gonna I'm gonna stare at it. It's dry. It's dry. It's dry. And I'm gonna do like this.
Yeah, the
It's
ball.
dry.
The ball is dry. Definitely dry.
Is he alright? I'm gonna look at Wonvu while pointing at Norman.
He's
What's
having.
he saying again?
It's dry.
at
It's
the
dry.
what?
It's dry. He's just saying it repeatedly at the crystal ball.
I mean, it is dry. I'm gonna give him that.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna ask for a bottle of water from the guy, the
Okay.
old man.
Okay.
I'm just going to look at it and just say, Norman, no, it's wet, Norman. Look, it's a bottle. I'm gonna do it. Like, shoving it on his
Yeah, I'm just gonna take out one of my alcohols and I'm gonna go, look, so much water over here.
Crystal
What
ball.
do
Crystal
you
ball.
love so much that you're so afraid of water? I mean, it's water, man. How are you supposed to take a shower now?
Guys, does not have hydrophobia. He just has a fear of rivers.
I mean, we don't understand. We just
Yeah.
know that he's afraid of wet things.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're fucking him up.
The water doesn't seem to affect you as much. It's more the thought that, well, if they tell you, because you look at the bottle and it is spring water, it kind of triggers you just a little bit.
Spring water. I'm gonna look at the bottle like, no,
Nope,
crystal ball.
Sorry, man.
no spring water for
Oh,
Norman.
this
Nope.
is too funny. This is just too funny. But yeah,
So funny.
no. One of us can't take a shower. And what are we supposed to do now?
To the swamp.
Hmm.
I mean, I am up for a fishing trip. And I have a rope if Norman
I'm
decides
just
to
gonna
resist.
whisper to.
Sorry.
You know, you guys. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
Hello. Yeah, I just want to whisper to them guys. You know, guys, we could just try to convince the old guy to give us a bottle.
oh, I suppose we can convince him.
Norman's not having any of that.
No.
I'll try to see. I'll try to check if I can try to persuade him.
Okay. He is just.
I'll walk up to him and just say, "Hey, about that bottle.
Yes.
Would you mind making a tiny consideration for us?
Drinking
If
water.
they get it broke on the way here, we kind of really need it, so."
I have been paid for confidentiality to keep this out of reach from others.
Then how about we strike a deal? Would you mind taking another extra for us next week?
Please make me a charm.
Ah, here we go again.
This is what it looks like.
Yes, only blacker.
I-
Only blacker.
Okay.
Wonvu.
hold
Sorry,
on,
Kore.
What's my charm?
55.
I am pushing it. I'm pushing it. God damn it, Kore! I got high roll, so I failed.
Yeah, he just kind of tells you that he can't, and then you insist your will on him, and then he just kind of has had enough. I told you I am not allowed to do this. It is part of the contract I have signed. Please do not pester me about it. If you want some of it, just ask Mr. Stone for it.
Fine. Just
Looks
I'm not
like we
getting
are
anything
going on
from
that
it.
fishing trip.
Fishing trip it is. Norman, what do you think of it? Let's go.
Fishing? Are fish dry? No.
No,
they're
Norman.
not
They're
dry.
stagnant the water, Norman. Let's just go. You'll be fine. You can stay in the car if you're too scared, but we have to check that place out.
Okay.
I mean, we don't really have anything else.
By the time
Otherwise, we can tie you up.
Okay.
you drive towards the bayou, Norman's mania or Norman's irrational phobia sets aside, and it just becomes a passive fear in your heart now. When you see the river flowing on the way to the bayou, you see the lake. It is just a passive fear now. But you do see the river of the bayou, the most murky, kind of disgusting river you've ever seen. It is full of trash, pollution. Most waste gets dumped here. But this is the river. This is the river that matches the water inside the jar. Yes, that is exactly what it looks like. That is exactly what it looks like.
Well, it smells disgusting in here. Just like
It really
most of Jericho
does.
City, I guess. What's so special about this place? Why would someone pay for this water?
I know. Can't believe people buy this shit for, magical bullshit.
I'm gonna look around. It's a place for suicide.
You move around, trying to fight the sight of the river in front of you. But you do find trees with nooses, or ropes that look like they could hold a noose on them, but there are no bodies on them. Now, the accounts of the stories is that people come here for suicide, but their bodies never get found. So their missing persons case tend to become just cold cases. They're just never found. Yes.
I was gonna ask if I can observe the
actually-
water up close,
You can.
Yeah.
but covering my nose while doing so.
You can look at the water. Look into its murky depths, into its disgusting, putrid smell and appearance.
Not pleasant. What do I have to roll? Do I have to roll anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
You're
thank
just
God.
looking into the water. It is disgusting and murky and just... This is horrible. This is horrible. And you've seen
I'm
terrible
gonna
things.
take a pen. Just gonna take a twig and just move the trash
yes.
away so I can see the water.
You can move the trash away, but the water itself has been blackened. This is
Yeah.
all the town's waste and sewage and everything. This just goes in here. Now, however, an area of the water starts to open up. So imagine if the river is flowing, and then as it's flowing, there's a bit of it that becomes a circle where it doesn't hit. Like there was a rock there, but it's invisible, so it's just kind of skipping that area. So it's just flowing that way, leaving this open, crystal clear blue water. There is, there are it's just water. It has your reflection, and then suddenly it becomes shade and fog in the distance, and you can see a pair of red eyes rising from the breach of the water. It has a hand from the shadows approaching you. Make a sanity roll.
Here we go.
Oh no, this is just Corey. Is Norman looking at the water
Yeah.
too? I believe you were avoiding the water. This is only for Corey,
Oh, okay.
because she's the one looking directly into the water. I'm guessing by that face you've lost sanity.
Again?
Please make me a 1d8 roll.
I hate everything about this. I rolled a 3.
Roll the 3. You lose
Losing 3 points.
3 points of sanity down to 42. I love this. Please make me 2d10 rolls.
God damn it, Kore. This is... I got a 5 and a 5.
A 5 means 5 hours because you're not in
Hours.
combat.
Yeah.
And the other 5. You are unsure, but Norman, I'm going to chat what you see.
Yeah.
It's just him. Oh man, I feel so left out.
No, it's just for Corey.
A minute.
Okay. While she's doing that, can I like look into the notebook that the investigators gave me and see if anyone died here in the list?
No, actually, this place is not on there other than... Actually, no, this place is not on there. Because they haven't been... This is a book on air and stone, so there's nothing here on the other people who died. Corey.
Oh, that's weird.
Doctor, can't you see? I'm looking at Norman. Doctor, there was this guy. He was standing there. He has red eyes. Can't you see that?
Doctor.
She's talking to Norman.
Man,
What?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but this is like one of those visions. I see. Can you see it? I'm calming
Yeah,
down.
well, calm down. What are you trying to say?
Yeah. There's this guy standing in the lake. He has red eyes. In the water. It was so dirty, but it turned clean, and I don't really know what I saw. A doctor,
Okay.
am I going insane?
why are you calling him doctor? I'm gonna ask.
Well,
But
doctor?
it,
Me?
can
I
you
thought he
see?
was a librarian.
It's Miss Schlitt. I know you haven't met her before, but doctor?
Norman, the
What are you
librarian,
doing?
not the
Norman.
doctor. And
Doctor.
okay.
Um,
And I'm gonna look somewhere the ground if there's a stick. Do I find
There-
any sticks?
There are lots of sticks.
Okay. And I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna wave it in front of
Corey.
Corey and look. There's nothing in the swamp water. I'm gonna throw it there. But looking away. Like that.
Looking away.
Looking away.
but there was this. I know what I saw. Is it one of those zombies again? I don't know. I can't tell which is real, which is not. Is this? Please tell me if I'm going insane, doctor.
Gonna look at Wonvu and say, who's the doctor is she talking about?
I think she's referring to you. That's
But
weird.
I'm-
You should know you're a librarian. What the fuck's
I
going
don't-
on?
What are you doing here?
I'm with you since this morning. I'm Norman.
That's Norman.
Yeah,
You don't.
Norman who
I mean-
doesn't like water. Speaking of which, I just found its water. Shucks.
Where is Norman? You're not Norman. I'm gonna touch her face and just say, "It's."
Be
You're
right back.
That's Norman.
I'm just touching her face.
That's Norman.
Yeah.
Wonvu, that's not Norman. I can clearly see my doctor. It's Miss. It's my psychiatrist. It's Miss Schmidt. Miss Schlitt. What the hell is going on?
Well, what would anyone else like to do?
This is so messed up. I'm gonna check if the guy is still there in the water.
Just gonna look at.
There is no guy in the water, and there's no more clearing in the river. It's just
Yeah.
murky water.
I'm just gonna take.
You are lagging, Audrey, but
Can I roll like some...
This is so weird.
Hello.
you're choppy. And Kore,
Wait, let me
Norman
reconnect.
still looks a lot like your doctor.
Yeah, but yeah, this is so weird. But I can still hear him, right?
Yes. Sounds like your doctor.
Oh, what the fuck is going on? Where the hell did Norman go? Did he get eaten by the fucking swamp?
Hello.
Ah,
Yeah,
Yes.
I just want to roll. Like, which part of the river do they get the water?
Which part of the river?
You get the water for the weird dash that you're on.
You want to look into the river?
No, I'm not looking to the river. I'm just trying to survey the scene to see if there's like a certain place where they collect the water for the.
Oh, you
weird
could collect
dash
it.
that-
You could collect it anywhere in this river. All of it looks. This
Ah,
entire
okay.
river looks dirty.
Okay, and I'm just gonna take a small mason jar that I usually carry, or like an empty alcohol bottle that I have. And I'm just gonna,
Collect.
get some water in the river, but I'm not gonna look at it. I'm just gonna go like that. Now I'm gonna look like. No, I'm not
Okay.
gonna- Yeah.
Yeah, you can fill up the empty vodka bottle. Norman, you are still being called doctor by Kore.
where the hell did Norman go? I mean, I know he's afraid of water, but I told him to stay in the car if he could stick with it. Ugh.
I'm here, and yeah, you did plan to tie me up if I don't come with you. I'm Norman.
Then why do you look like my doctor? What the hell is this? Are you cosplaying as my doctor? Like, how? You're not Norman. You clearly look like Miss Slip.
Uh,
This
Okay.
is so
Kore,
weird.
please make me a reality check, which is a sanity roll.
Sure. That's a sanity roll from me. Sure. Let me just hold on.
While they're doing that, I'm just gonna come up to them and say, if you guys aren't gonna do anything else, might as well leave.
3. Kore, your delusion of whatever is happening is gone. And you can clearly see Norman there that you've been calling doctor this entire time.
What the fuck, Norman?
What the fuck?
Well, that was awkward.
Uh,
What the fuck just happened?
you were calling Norman Doctor and Miss Smith or some shit.
Yeah. What the?
okay,
I
so
don't.
Just looking at Norman weirdly.
Norman. Norman.
Yeah, I can see
Norman.
that now. But why the fuck? You clearly look like my therapist. You were asking me if I was alright. That's what she usually does. This is so weird. Let's just go. This place is fucking me over.
Wonvu
I'll
has
just stay in the
collected the
car.
water. There's something
Gonna
odd
show them.
about this forest. One, that path you took off the road to get here, not there anymore. There seems to be more
Exit.
trees than there used to be.
Do I
The-
see my car?
You also no, you do not. You don't even see the main road. You also see lots of bodies hung around all of you, varying in degrees of decay and death. All 3 of you, please make me a sanity roll.
We're fine.
I still have my phobia of corpses, right?
Yes, necrophobia. It is
I should have
terrifying.
passed. I got this before.
Wrong
Oh,
one.
come on! Good.
34, I passed.
I have a
You know, losing
39. Okay,
Pass.
still way below.
Kore,
I
Um,
failed.
because of the gruesomeness of this scene, a pass means you lose only 1 point. So Wonvu's down to 56 and Norman is down to 58, whereas Kore, how badly did you fail?
It's just a normal failure. I just got a 54.
Please make me a 1d6 roll, yes.
1d6. Got it.
Norman and Wonvu lose 1 point of sanity, and Kore is losing
4.
another 4 points. Luckily, you're not temporarily insane. However,
Not yet, I ain't.
make me 2d10 rolls again, please.
Damn it. I got a 9 and a 7.
9.
Like, wait, I did it simultaneously. Do I have to roll one next time?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
9 means technically 9 rounds. 7.
It's brutal.
Okay, so Kore is seeing an odd and incredibly large amount of corpses. A lot of dead. Kore, you have lost sanity to something like this before. It is 3 points, which means those 3 points are deducted because you've seen this technically before. So your sanity is down only by 1 point actually, instead of 4.
What's my standing sanity? I think
You are down to 40. You are down to 41.
41. Got it. Oh, thank God.
Oh no, sorry. You were 42. You were down by 3. That's sorry. You're down to 39.
39. Got it.
And however, seeing all of this, corpse after corpse after corpse, body after body, decay after decay, makes you run in panic, and the rest of you just see Kore bolting out of there, not having anything to do with these corpses, with the dead, but she doesn't even know where she's running. She's just running in a random direction without any form of anywhere to go. She's going to get lost here. There's a lot of bodies.
Okay, I'm gonna
Norman?
I'm gonna chase after Corey and gonna shout, "Don't run, you'll get lost."
Kore is just
I'm gonna
keep...
try and
Yep.
I'm gonna
Cor-
try and chase her as fast as I can.
Kore, make me a track roll.
Okay.
Norman, you're
I'm
chasing,
gonna-
so you also make one.
Not just mark.
Audrey,
What's
you're
it called,
choppy.
Norman?
Track for Norman.
What's it called? Track.
That's
Track,
10%.
alright. Oof.
I got a 22. I failed.
22, you fail. Norman?
Bloody hell. I got a 73.
Them
Um,
as well, but
Nor-
I'm gonna mark the places that were.
You can make a track roll too. Norman fails
Yeah.
more than Kore. So Kore is just... She's within your sight, but you're just not fast enough to run after her. She runs quick.
I got 12.
That is also a fail, but it is faster than Kore. So Wonvu manages
No,
to
I
grab...
have 30 on track.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, then absolutely. Wonvu catches up to Kore and just grabs onto her. Just clamps on, and Kore,
Oh,
you're unable to run.
What the fuck are you doing? Just gonna ask.
Don't you fucking see the corpses in there? There's literally.
Yeah, but
this is
they're
literally a
fucking
fucking.
mad.
Norman, you arrive, and while the three of you are bickering, you're on the main road in front of Kore's car.
Oh,
What? Fuck this place!
Whoa.
I'm just going to go inside my car.
Just fucking bro. Don't even bother. don't gonna look at Norman. Don't even bother thinking about it. It's just no.
You guys get in the car and you drive off. Where would you like to head to now?
I'll just drive by a part that has civilization. I'll park by an establishment and just lean on the steering wheel and just say, "Oh, that was exciting." Fuck.
And I'm
Certainly
gonna be
was.
saying, try lad, try lad, try lad, try lad.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, let's never go back there. Yep, never, 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 never.
I'm just gonna look into my bag to see if the bottle's still there.
It is. So is the water.
Good. Okay. I'm just gonna pull it out. I'm not gonna look at it, but I'm just gonna pull it out just to show them. Hey, I have some water here.
Oh, come on!
Norman still doesn't like that water, knowing where it comes from, and Kore, that place gives you bad memories.
That water literally has bodies on it. That probably has DNA on it. What the hell are you doing? Why would you take some of it? Oh God, there's so much bodies.
I need it for research.
Just
Whatever.
bonk
just
my head
gonna
on
keep it in mind.
I'll bonk my head on the horn. Just
Yep.
tell me where to go.
The horn is just.
Just repeated banging my head on the horn. Just tell me where to go.
Just gonna laugh. I'm gonna say, should we just
Do you
go
guys want to get a drink? Let's go get something to drink.
I
Just
totally agree with
promises.
you on that. Let's go to a bar where it's dry and probably not a lot of dead people around. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a plan. I'm driving
Casual.
to the nearest
I
bar.
mean, if you don't wanna, spend some money, I'm gonna pull out a bottle of soda.
I don't drink and drive, Wonvu. I may be scared and out of my mind, but I'm not drinking and driving. I'm not dying in a car crash. No, I make a point not to do that.
Casual drinking. There is a popular bar along the old district, actually. It's a popular dive bar, even has some beer pong tables. Nothing fancy, but definitely good for some drinks and some much needed relaxation. There's usually a live band there. Very aptly and appropriately named the Blackout. You will head into the bar. It is not like the bars in the entertainment districts of the city. It's not like the usual nightclubs. This is just a small bar for people to just have some casual drinks around with some friends. You enter there. There's a booth waiting for you, and it's very much fashioned after like perhaps a European pub. It has also really good leather seats, and you guys can have a booth, take a few beers, have a drink, whatever you guys want to order. All of you can afford it. What do you talk about here?
I'll cover the costs. I'll be right back. I'll use the blue.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah.
While I'm waiting for like the drinks or something, or just waiting for things. I'm just gonna look into the day book again, and then I'm gonna look through it for the what's his name again? Our employer,
Arthur?
Arthur.
You're going to look at the book to determine his standing.
Yeah, just out of curiosity.
It's funny. The book writes itself, his present, his past, his rather unusual upbringing among gangsters. His family was once a crime family till they went legit. And he was born into the legitimized business, or so people think. He does, however, according to his book, still dabble in the illegal every now and then. Not that it's publicly known. Arthur's book, the story is written all the way until the end, and on the last page, or leading to the last page, is about, well, 3 months from now, give or take. It's in April, mid-April. Right now you're in closer to the end of January. In mid-April, Arthur Westway is shot down in a gang war. A gang war that is started and funded by Aaron Stone.
Ah, shit.
Oh,
The plot thickens.
What happened?
that's
Wonvu, as far as Norman and Kore are concerned, is reading a book and has a bit of a what kind of look do you have on your face, Wonvu, as you read this?
Yeah, while I'm reading through it, my face is just blank, but as soon as I read that ending, my eyes just widen. Like I've seen a ghost or some shit.
Oh, what's going on?
That's... Huh. I'm just gonna close the book and I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna cross my arms and I'm gonna say, Arthur, our employer, looks like he has 3 to live.
3 months.
I'm gonna nod.
3 months? You mean he's going to,
Yeah, guess whose fault it is, then.
let me guess. Aaron.
Gonna nod.
so. Aaron is on that gang as well.
He
I'm
starts
sorry,
a gang war.
gang?
He starts a gang war.
Which gangs are involved in this war?
Yeah, did it say?
It is between the Latino community and the Chinese triad in Jericho City. These gangs, Corey, you recognize as too dangerous even for you to deal with. They do not accept outsiders and people who are not their own. A gang war between these two will generally result in a lot of violence.
And our employer is going to die in that war.
I'm gonna nod. So something tells me if we give this guy the ghost signal that Aaron is responsible, this is gonna be his fate.
Well, how do we know that it's not going to happen anyway? If we don't tell
You have
him.
a point. You have a point. Then again, I don't think it's gonna change if we do something about it, so might as well tell him, right? Oh, I have a very pessimistic view on life. It's gonna happen anyway.
I mean, the book says it's going to happen, but as much as I don't want it to happen, I did offer tying Luke up to prevent his imminent demise, but... 3 months.
Does it ever indicate kung sino susunod sa kanya? Since his daughter's dead, sino susunod sa kanya after he dies?
The company, the Westway group of companies, is publicly owned. Shares are available, so if he dies, they'll just elect a new chairman, but he has no other next of kin.
Okay.
Certainly not going to be Aaron Stone. He has nothing to do with that family.
Good.
Thank
Oh
you.
god, no, it's so terrifying. Oh my god.
It's curious as well, since was Alicia targeted specifically so that our employer would be directed to that gang war?
Not entirely sure. There's a lot of students or strangers that got affected.
Yeah.
It is
I don't-
odd that she lasted that long. A few months
It-
before she actually did something.
It's worth noting now that you guys are talking about it, you realize
Yes.
there is no other person who wanted to investigate further the death of their family or their child.
That's true. There are no protests, or why do people not care about Aaron? I mean, lots of deaths are involved.
He's been the suspect in a lot of suicides, or he's been interviewed in a lot of suicides. Never
And
could
he
find
got
evidence
away
on
with
him.
it.
The only people that
odd.
actually care would be Luke and this Alicia's father.
And yet it seems like.
Norman,
I'm gonna.
hold on. Norman, now is a good time to remind you of a thing that you might have glanced over while intently reading Ellen Harper's notes. She found it odd how every single parent never tried to hire anyone, never tried to investigate further, never tried to take anything against Aaron Stone, never pressed for on. It is only Arthur who has actually bothered to question his own child's suicide. And Ellen found it just as strange as the rest of you.
Yeah. It's like. It just dawned on me. Something just dawned on me. I mean, I'm gonna like glance at the book.
Yeah?
The people I look up on this book.
I
Okay.
Sorry, one more time.
Yeah. Yeah. The people who I've searched up on this book who have suspicion towards Aaron, they dates of death. If you try anyone else, it seems like they don't show up unless they were like a suicide. I don't know. That's just a theory that I've noticed. It's just noteworthy, I guess.
Wait, that notebook that Luke gave us, does it have a list of the people that actually committed suicide?
It has, right?
Yes. All the students, all the people that killed themselves, and he has crossed out people who had nothing to do with Aaron.
Can you try checking one of their names in the book?
Yeah. I'm gonna try and go for like. I'm gonna go for like the first person who died, I guess.
First person who died. You
Oh.
see, yes?
Well, while he's looking for that, I'm gonna check the name on social media.
Okay. The name is Joshua Brown. He is
Joshua
16.
Okay.
He died. He is the first victim that Ellen has recorded among all the suicides that have anything to do with Aaron Stone, and it was only a week after Aaron had started slipping. The suicide here was about 2.5 weeks after he had gone to Aaron's party. After he had first gone to Aaron's party. The accounts on Joshua Brown here on the book say that he had looked into the pool of blood and saw horrors unimaginable. And as such, he has decided to take his own life, plagued by nightmares of horrors he could not fathom. And that's where the book ends. If Kore's search on social media Joshua Brown, the page is now in memoriam, meaning it's been converted to a page. It's what happens when a Facebook page gets converted because the person who owns it died. It's now an in memory of.
Can I check, try to find his parents? If they made any posts about their son's death?
Yes, they are posting on the Facebook page about how his death was so tragic, unexpected. Thank you for all the prayers. It is a tough time. Mostly just generic stuff that you would normally see, but well, not generic as in it's insincere, just generic as in it's what you would do on social media.
Can I
Oh,
try to use the names and then look them up on the book that I'm using?
All
I'll
of
keep checking
them
on my phone.
all of them relate to the same thing. They look at the quote unquote pool of blood. They see horrors their minds cannot fathom.
No, no,
They
I meant the parents' names.
Oh, the parents' names, will, well, some of them will live a long life. For Joshua Brown's parents, they've got maybe 15 years until old age gets to them. 15, 20 years, according to the book. They die of regular means. Unfortunately, the mother dies of leukemia. The father will die a few years later. Nothing odd about their deaths. It does, however, relating to the death of their son, does say that the parents are in grief, in mourning, and have come to accept. They
Didn't find anything weird about it?
do not. However, it is worth noting that Kore's search on social media does say that Joshua Brown does have a history of mental illness. He does have a bit of a he has been diagnosed officially with depression, and he does have struggles with mental illness. Search through the
that's
rest of the names,
Mhm.
and they all do. Some of them are not official. In fact, most of them are not official. However, the book confirms that they do. Some of them are undiagnosed, but the book is confirming that they do have it. This is not declared a common denominator by the police, because a lot of them were undiagnosed and unrecognized. People did not recognize that they had this illness. People did not know. But now
So
that
it's
you...
only
Mhm.
off. It's only off to forget his name, Arthur, because his daughter
had no
didn't
problems.
Yeah, she had no problem. She was a happy kid. That's why it's weird to him. Yeah, I'm just gonna point that out.
Then why would they target Alicia? It's not in their usual, MO. If they're specifically targeting the ones who are mentally ill, then why choose one of the most influential students in school? Daughter of the most influential man in Jericho City.
Maybe there was some level of intent about it. Actually, can I look through social media to see if there's if I can find the stockholders or the people next in line if Arthur ever gets a gun.
If he dies and there's no one to inherit his shares become public. If there's no one to inherit it. So next in line would be whoever is the majority holder, which is someone the board is going to select.
So unknown at this time. Okay.
Does it ever indicate who these board of directors are, or who's next? Who's the largest stockholder or something?
There is the COO. He does have the next majority shares. He would be next in line unless someone purchases all of Arthur Westway's shares in the company, which is valued at nearly 800 billion.
Is Aaron still, is he self-employed, or does his family also have some level of
Aaron
corporate?
Aaron
Gross.
has inherited his family fortune,
Dilettante.
which is valued at all of the assets, all put together, is valued at over $700 billion.
Wow.
He is not in any need of money.
It's just slightly over. It's just slightly over the amount, though. That's concerning. That means he has capability to buy company. I'm gonna point that out, actually.
Well, if anything, I can tell that Aaron is boning over whatever weird stuff is going on in his basement. I don't.
What was that anyway?
Ugh, I don't know and I don't want to know.
Oh.
Actually, I do. I'm
Curious. I'm gonna borrow the book and
Yeah, I'm gonna hand him the book.
This
Book of
is
Day.
yes. And
I'm gonna look, going back to Aaron's past.
Mhm.
It mentioned that he is the chosen one.
was chosen for,
chosen-
yes.
Yeah, he's the chosen
He's
one.
the avatar.
Yeah,
The avatar of insanity.
gonna check.
Why?
He's the chosen one of who?
Ah, the book will not give you any insight into that. It is
Fire.
just says
Eh?
the chosen. He was chosen for a higher purpose. However, I will ask you to make me an intelligence roll.
Just him. Okay.
He's kind of reading the book, so yes. Sorry, make that an education roll. So you're trying to go
Education.
under an 80.
Where is his drinking?
59.
That is well and
Pass.
good. You read through the book like one of your academic books, like one of the things you read in your spare time. It's easy for you to read. You're a fast reader. You pick up on something that is an easy detail to miss. About 80 or so years ago, sometime in actually about 100 years ago, sometime in the 1900s, Aaron's great grandfather on his mother's side had an issue with, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And that's fine, schizophrenia happens to people. However, the odd thing about this is that his grandfather, according to this book, did not have schizophrenia. He was diagnosed with it, but he did not have it. His grandfather saw what others could not. Is specifically the wording in the book. His grandfather saw the great old one. And he too was chosen for a higher purpose.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
His grandfather, that great grandfather that we're talking about, died at the hands of the police after trying to steal artifacts from the local museum. The artifacts, though he had been shot and killed, have never been recovered, and they have gone missing. No one knows what happened to the artifacts because he was killed on museum grounds. He was shot by the police. No one knows where he could have put the artifacts. He never had a chance to leave the museum. But they are missing. The artifact that is missing is a strange, what people believe is possibly Egyptian. They could never identify what it was, but it was gold, and it was a sort of crest on a scepter. It's a strange symbol on the scepter. But the book refuses to be specific about the details.
Mention that because I'll check on the internet, even though my computer uses shit.
Searching for an artifact that went missing in a museum is not too difficult. You can search for it. It is a scepter with an odd-looking symbol. You've never seen it before. They assumed Egyptian because of the material that it was made from, but it's really anyone's guess. No historian could ever pinpoint what that symbol is. However, Wonvu, you realize that symbol matches the symbol on the books. The front page, the front cover of the books. It is the same symbol on all three of them.
That's not
Oh.
hot.
Mhm.
I know this is stupid, but would you mind if I take a photo of the book?
Okay.
I'm taking my phone, taking a photo.
Of the
Then I'm
front
gonna
cover?
run it. Yep. Then I'm running it to Google search.
Reverse image search.
Mhm.
You recall what happened the last time you did this?
Yeah, that's why I'm a bit hesitant. Like, I'm just trying to put the phone in the middle of the no, just trying to be wary of it, but just like watching it happen from afar. That's why she said, "I know this is stupid because did it end well last time?"
Are the rest of you
I'm trying.
looking at the phone as it visits search? The
I
phone
would.
reverse image
I would.
searches, and it goes into, well, it's as if you scanned a barcode or a QR code. It just redirects you into a browser. However, the web page has no hyperlink. HTTPS : that's it. It's loading. As it loads, the screen goes black. You assume the power has died down.
Oh my
I am
goodness,
going to
that's it.
assume that Kore is going to look away now.
Yeah, like she's like, ah, fuck, here we go again. I'm just gonna look away.
Kore
after
looks
that.
away. The two of you
Look at Cora.
see the symbol on the black screen.
No.
As you were just about to touch the phone, the symbol appears in yellow. And then the symbol disappears. And a ghoulish, zombified hand crawls out of the phone. And it is definitely just coming at you from the screen. It is real and it is there. That is, Norman and Wonvu need to make a sanity roll because Kore is looking away.
Oh shit, okay.
Ah, here we go.
What an idea.
Actually,
She's just shaking on the chair.
26.
I got sakto. 56.
Why is it only me that's losing sanity tonight?
Is that
Okay.
a pass? Is that a pass? 56?
This is a pass, but oh wait, the site does not lose 1 point of sanity for success, so you guys are relatively fine. But there is the matter of a hand coming out of a phone screen.
What's
Is it
going
still
on?
coming out?
What's going
It
on?
is. It's
What's
still
going on?
there.
What's going on?
Oh shit, I'm gonna
Smash
I'm
it.
gonna get like some
Kore
like,
is still covering her eyes.
What's going on?
What
One
the fuck is this?
What are you using to smash the hand?
Is there like anything that's like we're at the bottle, right?
The
Is there
bottle,
like,
man.
like
You
know,
have
like
your gun.
those-
If you want to smash it, the butt of
my-
your gun on it.
Actually, yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna do that.
bottle.
It's not your bottle, but you guess. Kore, while you're covering your eyes, you just hear. The rest of you
I'm looking.
see Core's phone shattered into pieces. But, Kore,
What the fuck?
you cannot help but look away because there's blood on that phone.
Ugh.
She's
What
hemophobic,
the fuck?
but there's blood
Why
all
did
over
I-
that
There's
phone.
fucking blood.
And there's
Fucking smell
blood
that thing.
on the butt of Wonwu's gun. The waitress comes in. Sorry, is there something wrong here? Is that blood?
Nothing
We
to
don't
see here.
know.
It's a nosebleed.
Nothing to
Someone
do.
had a nosebleed. Just leave.
Yes, someone had a nosebleed and sneezed on the table.
Fast talk, Corey.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it like
And
my,
a bonus.
I
Have a bonus die for Norman's assistance. Oh, 3. He just looks at you. He believes you, and he tells you, "Nosebleed, ma'am, are you all right? Do you need some tissue, or Can I help you? That's a lot of
No,
blood. Are you?
I'm fine. It's just the heat. Just just clean this up, please. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sure. You want me to do something about the? Is this a phone?
Yeah, I sneezed on my phone. Just
Oh, ma'am,
Quite
Your
a
phone-
fragile phone.
ma'am, your phone is bleeding. As he picks up one piece, blood is pouring out of it.
Whoa.
Uh,
Still like that.
maybe it's the LCD.
I'm gonna go. I guess I'll clean up when you guys are done. I'm a go now. What? Somebody has an order? What are they coming up? He just runs out of her.
Oh God. that
Babe,
was-
Kore's
nervous.
phone
hard.
is bleeding.
Uh,
It also looks like it's run out. Like it's run out of blood.
No, not that.
oh God. What the fuck? Just throw that
Actually,
away.
I lost sanity with that.
Actually, I was gonna say that the three of you need to make another sanity roll because phone's bleeding is not normal.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Hey, Kore.
I have
I really
32.
have to fucking roll.
Wonvu, what was that?
32 for me.
Norman, sanity roll, please.
Oh, okay. Sanitary roll. There you go.
What the fuck?
12.
12 is fine.
1, 2.
Kore, sanity roll.
I got a.
Sorry, what?
I failed. I got a 50.
Not the fucking gun, man. You're gonna go in fucking.
Kore,
I can't tell.
roll me 1d4, Kore.
God.
Rose, nagana ka na sa cold. Yes.
Putang ina, I got a 4.
How much do you have left? Are you still okay?
No,
Okay ka pa ba?
I got a 4.
No, it's fine. Well, no, you haven't seen a bleeding phone before, so that is 4 points. You're down to
I
35.
just decreased it when I saw the ghoul hand.
No. Kore, roll me 2d10. Let's do it one at a time.
Ay, no.
I got a 6. And a 5.
So,
Hindi naman siya tumitingin siya pa
okay,
yung nawala.
Kore. No, as Kore sees the blood from the phone, your hemophobia re-triggers. The blood just makes you hyperventilate, and Kore's just. She faints. Kore faints on the table. Kore, you're out for about 5 rounds. I'm gonna call that about an hour or so.
Yep,
I
fainted.
About a few minutes, actually. Kore is out for about maybe give or take 5 minutes. The two of you, yeah, this isn't the first time Kore has fainted at blood. You've seen this happen yesterday.
I'm just gonna look at the blood and then at Kore and then my gun and then the blood at Kore at my gun and then I just keep doing that over and over again. Till I feel my eyes feel dizzy.
One would just keep shifting his gaze from gun, blood, Kore, gun, blood, Kore, gun, blood, Kore.
Yeah. Like, I'm just gonna say, what the fuck was that? A fucking phone isn't supposed to be bleeding.
No, it is not.
Gonna look if there's a fork somewhere. I think there is.
There is.
The table. I'm gonna like poke it.
Poke the blood?
Oh my gosh. Poke it.
Yeah, you poke it. It is blood. Kore, at some point,
Wow.
you do wake up.
Oh God. Oh, that was horrible. What
After,
the fuck happened?
After like 5-ish minutes, you just wake up and you realize what the hell just
Oh.
happened.
Why haven't you cleaned it yet? It's still
Hold on. I'm just gonna clean the butt of my gun with paper towel.
I'm just gonna stay here and drink this.
I'm very close to giving you that dipsomania. But yeah, Kore just drinks.
It's warranted, but yeah, she's drinking, just looking away, deliberately away from everyone, just drinking in the corner.
The rest of you?
I want to drink water as well, but this is the water that I have on the table.
Everything's left. Everything about this.
You know, come on.
Maybe order some bar water?
Drink the swamp water.
Oops.
Do you really want to be drinking swamp
All
water?
I have right now.
I mean, if the insanity's not gonna kill you, the tetanus will.
Philip, can you flip your... There you go.
Yeah.
Alright.
Just
I tried
sitting in the
Um,
corner.
You guys have your drinks? How would you like to proceed with your day? Because it has not even been sundown yet.
Oh my gosh.
This is a long day.
Okay.
No, you
I'm
are.
gonna look at the notes.
Mhm.
Where is the library that the
You're supposed to work
yeah,
at?
where
It
the,
is...
the library, sorry. The museum. Sorry, the museum where the artifacts went missing.
The Jericho Museum is located in the Black Hill district, the most populated district of the city. It is in the heart of that district. This is also where I believe Kore stays, around this area, around that district. The museum is well known for its ancient and exotic pieces.
I actually want to. I'm not gonna take a picture and search it up, but I'm more gonna like go down a rabbit hole, like of information
Mhm.
of from when I searched about the artifact.
What, you're gonna just keep going down?
Yeah.
Now make a computer use.
Para. Oh my god.
Percent, I guess.
I feel so good. She's gonna nap on the table.
Sure.
I failed. I'm not gonna push it.
Hmm.
Not by
What?
a lot, but I'm not gonna push it.
How much did you get?
I got 18.
For that, you don't necessarily find too much information other than where the artifact was and what happened to it, the theft. Bit of information you do find is it has been passed from kind of place to place. It's been all over London, it's been all over the United States. The artifact has been traded from museum to museum. That's about most of the information that you can find on it. Also, not
Do
the
I
first
not
time it's
see
been
any-
stolen.
Do I not see any information of where it is now, or is?
No. Oh, well, you do see the information, but no one knows where it is. No one knows what's happened to it
Oh.
since the theft in the 1900s.
Okay, I'm just gonna save a picture. Is
Okay.
there a picture on the initial article that I found?
Yes,
The
you can save that
Wikipedia
picture.
page.
Yeah, I'm just gonna save that picture onto my phone. It's gonna have repercussions, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
You can save the picture to your phone.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
else would you
yeah.
like to do?
Well, I was thinking of looking it in the library a little more, since I'm more proficient with looking through the library. But if you guys wanna propose some other place, it's fine.
Well,
Norman
if you
can
don't
get
get
you
over
library.
access.
them-
Norman can get you access to the library despite it still being closed.
I'm gonna stay in the car. I don't really want to go back there. The last time I went there, I almost shot a few people, so I'll just
Yeah, I
refrain
don't
in the
think.
car.
But there's no one to shoot there anymore. It's closed.
There's still Norman and Wonvu. I'm kidding.
Please don't shoot
Yeah, I
us.
mean, Cora's just going to stay inside the library. It's fine, but she's just going to I don't know, fiddle with her phone.
Okay. So you're going to the library.
Yep.
Jericho
The
City Library. A very extensive collection. You
Mhm.
enter the library. It is closed, but Norman has keys and access. For those who are looking for any form of information, make a library use roll.
Okay. I was gonna look into the stick.
I'll help na rin pala. I'll just
Okay, the scepter,
pass it.
Yeah, I got 36.
Norman.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, thank God, a good roll. I got a 10.
For a librarian, I got a 19.
Nice,
Should be.
a difficult success. And for Kore,
Got a 10, I passed.
ooh,
Thank God, my first good roll.
okay. All of you find different things. Wonvu, you find books on ancient artifacts. This artifact that you have a picture of is oddly
Mhm.
classified as mythology. It's not believed to exist. It's complete myth fabrications. There's no indication that it's real. Norman, you look through the library.
Does it have a name?
Um,
Or
does the artifact have a name?
yeah, does it have a name?
Yes, you can look through the books and everything. It's a myth again. It's not real. And this is actually not the artifact. This is the symbol on the artifact, the symbol on the staff that you see. But you
Okay.
don't see a reference on the artifact itself. You just see a symbol that's drawn. Yeah, it is quote unquote Haster.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it says in the
does-
book.
What does a symbol look like? Can I try drawing the joke? No, I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother. I mean, literally draw it on my notes, but
It is a yellow kind of question mark like thing. I'm gonna forward you an image that will be much simpler than me explaining this, but yeah, the symbol is definitely a mythology. It is not, it's a thing of fiction, supposedly. I'll send you what the symbol looks like. Now, Norman, you find a few books, actually, quite a few books, on ancient cult religions and practices, things that tend to end violently. History would prove that they tend to end rather violently. These are cult practices involving ritual sacrifice, ritual problems, ritual sacrifices, kidnappings, generally unpleasant things, but the most curious thing that you find is mass suicides. Not as a group, but repeated and consecutive suicides. It is believed to be something that can summon some sort of greater being onto the world and trigger an apocalypse of sorts, but again, mostly occult studies. It is involving suicides, repeated suicides, consecutive suicides. Corin, you go around the library again, and you find a lot of information about, well, myths and mythology. Similar to Wonvu's section, except what you find around here are various symbols. One of them includes the symbol. It is a drawn, painted figure, but it is the same kind of symbol as on top of the staff. I'm just going to show you what that symbol looks like if you can check your messages, but the symbol is on there along with a variety of others, multiple other symbols, and they are, well, all, according to this book, referencing the end of days. and the rise of some sort of greater power.
I'll take the book and walk up to them.
Guys, you can consolidate your findings.
Now that I look at the symbol on a meta, now that I look on the symbol, it looks kind of ugly. No offense.
Well, end of days. You think this is some cult BS or I don't even know if this is. I can't even believe that it's not true, and with all the things that we've seen.
So this
That's
is
not normal.
what. Yeah, I mean it all connects to how Aaron is behaving and how he is. Like, remember when he asked us to bring a sacrifice? It
An
makes sense.
offering, yeah.
An offering. And this, looking at this called practices, and based on what he is chosen for, it looks like he is going to summon something. And I relate to them what I saw in the book, what I read in the book, that he is the chosen for, and
Yeah.
probably to bring forth the great old one.
Yep.
What is this great old one?
I did not get any other name except for this one.
I'm actually
And
afraid
it's-
to search it on Google.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'll take my phone. Great old one. Pretty sure it won't go wrong this time. I mean, it's not a photo and it's just 3 words.
So,
For all I know, it's just gonna show me Morgan Freeman because he's the great old one that I recognize.
Hi.
Searching it.
You search the
Great
term
old
great
one,
old
God.
one.
Yeah.
Yes.
God.
You search the term. Google results give you a number of websites. Most of them occult. There's even some entries on creepypasta. There are lots of
Creepypasta.
occult things here, and a lot of them relate to strange, unusual, bizarre abominations invented by a group of writers from several decades ago. It's a thing for horror stories. It's a thing for movies. It's large, unfathomable abominations of nature, alien gods from outer space who will one day come to take over the world and devour the souls that inhabit it.
Have they ruled 34 the abomination?
It's the
Can't
internet,
stop
so
thinking
definitely, yep.
Man, I can't stop thinking about it. Have they ruled 34 them yet?
Probably, yeah. I'll just pass the phone to Norman and say, well, there's that. At least a hand didn't come out of that. I just...
Norman, you
I feel like-
see strange
okay.
pictures. Nothing's coming out of the phone, but you see strange pictures, weird geometries, tentacle-faced creatures, large demonic entities. All the articles referencing people being eaten, sacrificed, ancient gods from alien worlds.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the phone and see, and if I can find reference to mass suicides to this particular search.
While they're doing that, can I look through the library's newspaper archives to see if I could find anything about the incident with the great grandfather?
Yeah. Okay. So Norman, going through the phone, referencing whatever links you might find, make me a roll for computer use.
Oh my gosh.
I'll help while using another burner.
Okay,
Sure. What did you get?
I got a 9. What's my
A
computer use?
4.
I'm.
The heck?
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Um,
Wow. Nice.
9 is not
Well,
enough because computer
Mhm.
uses 5, but he has a 4, so
Okay,
you
go.
succeed.
Fudge.
Norman,
51.
you go through the computer, you find links, you skip the parts that are ads and questionable websites asking for your credit card information, and I think you run into a Norwegian prince scam, but at some point you get to occult gatherings and mass suicides, and these are all relating to sacrifices. This entity being summoned feeds off of insanity, or rather feeds off of the sanity of people, draining them of their life, using that to fuel itself, to hasten its inevitable coming. It's worth noting that when you guys looked through the Book of Vey, all of them have a reference, or all of them have some form of entry that shows why they committed suicide. The vague description of seeing eldritch horrors and unfathomable demonic entities drove them to suicide. That is similar to what is being described as the necessary requirement for these rituals.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, as a librarian, it's like, this is getting to be very familiar and very specific. And I'm gonna try and see if there is a reference to a name
A name.
that is associated with this ritual. If there's it's the Great Old One. What's that Great Old One's name?
There is no specific name.
Oh,
There's only the name relating to the symbol, but in terms of summoning or this mass ritual suicide, no name is attached to it. It just references the Great Old One.
okay. I'm gonna look further into the research and see
Audrey, I think you hung again.
how many is many before the ritual is actually completed.
The only thing it says in the research is that the person who does it is the person who knows, and they will know when it is enough.
Oh. Okay, so before anything else happens, I think we should collect our notes, and we know for a fact that it's Aaron who's doing this, and these, no matter how fictional it looks like, he is doing something, and this is not good. And I showed him the correlation and on the table. All the documents.
Should we just put a bullet in his head? That would end everything.
Assassination.
I know a few guys who will do it for a bit of cash.
Question: in terms of cash, which one's a lot?
There we go.
Norman, what was that?
No, it's
In terms of cash, which one's a lot better paying? Us killing Aaron, assassinating Aaron, or letting
That a question a
Mr.
librarian
Westway.
should be asking.
Of course, I'm the librarian.
The librarian. Not just
Librarian.
any librarian, he's the librarian.
So like my face is not becoming that bookish type of person. It's like I'm planning how
There
to
you
kill
go.
this person.
Oh my god.
Oh
And I
my.
thought I was the criminal.
Wow. We less than legal shit.
So Wonvu, you left for
There you
like
go.
a minute and now we're planning on killing
God.
people. This is what happens when you leave us alone.
Which one pays? I mean, going back to the
What?
question, which one pays higher? Us killing
You're
Aaron?
you're paid to tell Arthur if you if you truly believe that Aaron had something to do with this. That's all. You're not paid to do anything else. Just tell him,
What?
do you believe?
Well, I believe it's fair to make a report now with all of these evidences.
Yes. It is very much. So who's gonna make the call?
I'll take care of it. Wonvu,
Wait, what's going on?
You're calling Arthur.
Well, let's
Yeah.
should we just report it then?
Wait, I thought
mean,
I was looking through the newspaper shit.
You disappeared.
and
Yeah,
now
I
we're
was
talking
looking
about
through the
assassination because you left us
Oh.
alone.
which one pays
One
better?
who can go through some newspaper articles about the theft. It was in 1901. It was again as the book described. The police shot him down, but the artifact was never recovered. The artifact itself was believed to be Egyptian in nature. It was found, strangely enough, in the bayou where you guys just came from. It was brought to the museum to be appraised, and the museum realized that it was an ancient artifact, or at least dated it as an ancient artifact that historians could not place. That's about it. Kore?
Do I find anything about the guy who did it?
It is Aaron Stone's grandfather. That's about it. It is the same information that was
Okay,
given
so
on the
there's
book.
nothing weird about the stone?
It's the same information that
Hello?
we found on the book. In fact, the book gave you more information than these newspapers. As far as the police were
Okay.
concerned, he was a schizophrenic.
Okay, so yeah, if that's all, I'm just gonna head back then. Then I receive the calls.
Kore, you are going to call Arthur, correct?
Yeah, but I'm waiting for Wonvu to arrive.
I'll just come back at that point. I got a little lost in the library.
That's alright. I'm calling our employer, tell him what we found, and tell him that Aaron Stone is responsible for his daughter's death. And it is
And
for
a lot
certain.
others.
Sure.
And
And
a lot of others.
other.
Yeah. I'm calling him.
Okay.
Putting him on loudspeaker, putting him in
phone-
the middle.
Opens. Yes. Do you have a report for me?
Good afternoon, sir. We've been digging we've been digging for a while now, and we've come to a conclusion that yes, Aaron Stone is definitely responsible for what happened to your daughter. But we would like to advise against going against him. He's not as he seems. He's not just some dilettante who has way too much money to spend. He's tapping into some weird shit.
He's a little office rocker and a little more after that.
I see. Your money will be transferred to you by tomorrow morning. All your accounts. Thank you. You won't hear from me again. And I do appreciate it. Thank you. He just drops the call.
He's
Can I
gonna
roll
get himself
insight if
killed.
Um,
you're gonna follow that advice?
You can make a psychology roll and your video is hanging again.
Ah, wait, give me a moment.
I
Does
would
it?
like to roll psychology as well, but
Go ahead.
Oh, hello. Third.
Psychology.
I passed.
Okay.
Ooh, a past psychology roll from Kore.
I got a 5 on psychology.
Takes crazy to know crazy.
Okay.
I got 5.
God damn it.
The two of you,
98. Utang na loob.
Nice.
not a fumble,
Fumble master. Okay, never mind.
not a fumble. You just failed. But Kore and Wonvu, you realize tone of voice, everything about him. Yeah, he's going to do something stupid and ill-advised.
He's going to get himself killed, and there's going to be a gang war in Jericho City.
Well, it's not
God
like
damn it.
it's not like we can do much anyway. The advice was, it's not like it's gonna stop him. It's not a stone wall.
Do you think
I'm
we should
gonna
find the book?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's look at the book.
Which one?
The book of Fae.
And whose name are you whispering into it?
Arthur.
Hmm. Where Wonvu saw 3 months has just been shortened to 3 days. And he does not die from a gang war anymore.
Oh wow, he's gonna do something really stupid.
He doesn't die from a gang war. He
Stupid.
dies from a gunshot
He's gonna
by Aaron Stone.
do something real stupid.
Not before. He dies from a gunshot from Aaron Stone's gun. Not before he shoots Aaron in the heart. He's going to get a lethal shot into Aaron, according to this book, in 3 days.
It says. Does it specifically say that Arthur is going to die, get killed?
This is specifically stated that this is how he dies. It
But it
doesn't
doesn't
say
say that
Aaron dies. It
Killed.
just says
Yeah, he killed Aaron.
it just says he shot Aaron in the chest. And Aaron shoots him fatally and he dies on Aaron's floor in the basement.
He shot Aaron, but it doesn't say that Aaron died in his hands. I'm not sure if
Wait,
I'm
what did-
overthinking this, but
It's
this
pretty
It said he died in the basement.
He shoots Aaron in the chest and Aaron shoots him fatally and he dies in Aaron's basement.
Huh.
But it doesn't say that Aaron died, just that he got shot. He never said that he was killed by Westway either.
You are looking to Westway's account on this book.
Would it make a difference if we check Aaron's?
You can.
May.
You can
Let's give it a
whisper
check.
Aaron's name into the book. And unlike before, this time the book reaches the end. And this time it is his future. 3 days from now, Aaron will be shot by Arthur in the chest. Not before whispering something into the ear of someone else the book refuses to name. And that is how his story ends.
Legacy.
Huh. I wonder who that's gonna be.
And as the night falls, as you spend your hours in the library, this is where we end the story for the night.
Mm.